So Esau and Jacob grew, and Esau was a skillful hunter and a man of field, but Jacob was a mild man, dwelling in tents. And Isaac loved Esau because he ate of his game, but Rebekah loved Jacob. Now Jacob cooked a stew, and Esau came in from the field, and he was weary. And Esau said to Jacob, "Please feed me with that same red stew, because I am weary." Therefore, Esau's name was called Edom. But Jacob said, "Then sell me your birthright as of today. You sell it today." And Esau said, "Look, I'm so weary, I'm about to die, so what is this birthright to me?" Then Jacob said, "Swear to me as of this day." So Esau swore to Jacob and sold his birthright to Jacob. And Jacob gave Esau bread and stew of lentils. Then he ate and drank, arose, and he went his way. Thus Esau despised his birthright. We have two more readings, but I'm not going to read. But because we have a kid here, I'm going to offer a children's talk. We don't have that information in the order of service, and I think this can relate to everybody. I just talked about stew, right? What is stew? Stew, yes?
It's like a soup but thicker.
Okay, yes, right. And what do we do with that?
You eat it with a spoon.
Yes, basically we eat. Yes. So I've got two different foods. Let's say this is two different types of food. And do you know what this is?
Instant noodle.
Exactly. This is a little hard to tell. What is this one? Just gonna get close.
Like a soy milk.
Yes, soy milk. But it's a little special soy milk because this is made of black bean. So this is black bean soy milk. And this is instant noodle. And I don't have to admit it, but I like sometimes eating instant noodle because it can taste it. But when it comes to whether it is healthy or not, do you think this is healthy? Thank you for saying that. And I would say this is more healthier, because and this says this got a lot of protein and calcium, whatever that means, right? And I would eat this, drink this every morning happily because it's healthy, and the taste of it is pretty good too. And here's the thing. We've got two different types of food, like unhealthy one and healthy one, and the thing is we need to make a choice. I mean, this is our daily choice. Are we going to eat something unhealthy or healthy? I'd like to say, let's eat some healthy things. I mean, when you're younger, you really don't understand it, but as you're getting older, you know how important it is to have healthier food, right? And there's another thing. We have unhealthy thoughts or ideas, and there are healthy ideas. What are those? What are the unhealthy ideas that come to your mind? You can just talk. You can just say unhealthy thoughts. Oh, that guy was mean to me, so I can fight back. I don't think that's really nice thought. You could avoid that situation rather than fighting back. What about, I don't want to go to school. I don't want to go to school because I'm getting lazy. I don't think that's a healthy idea. What about healthy ones? respect the elderly, respect your parents, and be kind to people around you. And then they're gonna be kind to you. Those kind of things are healthy thoughts. And it's same to like food. We have two different types of food that we have to choose, and we have two different thoughts that we have to choose from daily. There's no choice. We have to choose. And the last thing on this is good thoughts that are from good place. And bad thoughts, they are from bad place. And good thoughts, they come from the Lord, from heaven, from angels with us. And we want to hear those ideas and thoughts, not those unhealthy thoughts that are coming from down below, from hell, from bad spirits. They're gonna give us a lot of bad thoughts. We don't listen to those. So, speaking of the stew, we were talking about the stew, and I thought, you know what, I'd like to talk about something food. And get the right one, have the right one. And when you have good one, you can think about the Lord and thank Him. Didn't we all grow up with a virtue or two to envision for us? Thinking and dreaming that it would be wonderful to flower those into our life. Growing up, we envision something special about who we may want to become. And probably we have dreamed about having a happy family. Or we may have wished to be like our mom and dad because they were such great people to look up to. And these are the golden virtues of a life we can ever pursue. But time comes when the rubber meets the road. We need to try what we wish, not just dreaming about it, right? But I think that down in the road, we see it requires more than just dreaming and trying. Have you experienced that? I think to some extent we all get to experience that we aren't really going anywhere or making any progress, even when we try really hard. In times like this, we get easily frustrated because we are double or triple trying. We are trying hard, but it's not coming off as we wish. So we grow wary of it. We don't want to do it. We feel even disenchanted with it. And here is my little experience that I had. I was in high school, and I wanted to be a good student because I wasn't a good student. One day I decided to serious with my schooling. I put hours and hours to study, even weeks before the exam weeks. And even after school, I found my private study room to study until 10 p.m. I tried really hard. But the sad part, it is sad, but the sad part of the story is that it did not work for me. I really tried hard, but it did not work. And again, I was frustrated, probably double or triple, because I was putting like double, triple effort in it. But it did not work. And how about this? This is a little ironic. I often hear that some or even many newly married couples don't do well for the first couple of their years. Not everyone, but some people find the first 3 years or so really challenging, especially when their expectation of their honeymoon is still of rosy dreaming of it. But it doesn't naturally make sense, right? A newly married couple is in the flame of love for each other, and they are filled with wanting. and willing to do for each other as best as they can do. Sometimes it doesn't work. I'm sure there are plenty of other examples where willing and just trying don't necessarily add up to a good result. Why is it then? Why is that? It's unfair, right? And I think it's often because we don't pay enough attention to the way we try. We often skip the part of sitting down, talking through, getting down to the essence of how we do it and what we want to do it. That's the first step that we should make, but we often miss that part. And that's one of the ways we can look at the story of Esau this morning. We're told that he is a skillful hunter out in the field and hunting his game. As we are not yet there. He's got a goal to pursue and he's got good skills too. We're told that he is a skillful hunter. And yet it doesn't seem to be successful with him. And in the end, he's grown so weary of it. He's tried and tried and tried, but he's now tired of it. Now all he wants is be fed with food. In fact, he feels hungering to death. So imagine us to be like Esau when we've tried, worked hard towards our goal, trying to earn it, but we have adjusted ourselves without much success from just trying. So then what could we possibly do or need? What does the story suggest for us? It tells us two main things. First, we've tried enough, only to fail. We've lost our motivation. We don't have any left. And then we must be recharged so that we can keep going. But that recharging part doesn't come for free. In fact, it costs dearly for Esau. It's a bit wild to think about how the story brings us to the next step, but it tells us that the cost we pay is selling. We need to sell the things that we think are most important part now, which is trying. We think that's the primary virtue. The power of will is the most important thing, but we are told that we need to sell that. Yeah. And after all, Esau has to sell his birthright to Jacob, and he ends up selling it over just a bowl of stew that Jacob cooked. When we look at the whole storyline, things change dramatically since Esau sells the birthright. And do you know what that is? Esau pops out. We don't really see much of Esau's story later on. He appears a couple of times, but the rest of the story isn't about Esau. It's all about Jacob. It's about Jacob's story. Later on, Jacob's name changed to Israel, and it's about Israel and their children. It's all about that. And we could dive into the details of the story and what is behind it, but basically, we could talk about how Esau represents the willing part, our will part, whereas Jacob represents our understanding part. And it is about how and when the understanding part should take the lead and so on. And we've touched on that last Sunday a bit. I won't really go far in that direction, but overall, the story is about a big change. It's about, first, knowing and accepting that the fact that we've failed, our Esau failed. We tried, it didn't work. Then we need to move on. So we need a different approach. And that's our Esau coming in and asking quite desperately, is desperate for food from Jacob, something from Jacob. And as I said, he doesn't care about his birthright. He doesn't care about to be the first son. And now he's taking down his responsibility. And Esau basically says, Jacob, here is my birthright. Take it from me. And now you lead the way. You take the lead. Not me. I'm out of here. I'm tired. So that's the realization and shift. And it's about the shift of our mode where we see how important it is for our understanding takes the lead. It sounds a bit abstract, but the message is clear. Think about and appreciate the value of thinking through first. Get down to what matters most. And ask about fundamental life questions. Boil down to the essential questions or the essence of where our life goes and where the value of our spiritual life lies. So we are talking about the shift of those questions and answers to those questions, taking the lead instead of just living. Just living, I've got some sense of what I could do and what I should do, and I'm just gonna do it. But that doesn't work sometimes. And I touched on this one, but the source of our thought and our understanding also is important. It should not be our own thinking, but it should be from the Lord's teachings that form our thoughts and lead us. I was working on this sermon late last night because I had to edit out half of the sermon I had. It was a painful process. And part of the reason was because the story just has so much to delve into. But I chose to talk more about the importance, about the shift that we just talked about. And here is what I like to offer. What should we do when our pain and work don't pay off? Why is it not working? We work hard on relationship. We work hard at school, just like I did. We work hard on making some positive changes in our life. We try. It doesn't work. And I'm going to talk about the guitar again. I talked about it, right? Last Sunday, but there was a part that I didn't talk about it. That is, some of its strings snapped. They broke. And it is out of tune as well. So I'm going to play. Actually, I'm going to pretend I'm going to play. But hear how it sounds, okay? All right. Just hear. I'm serious. I want to play it. I want to play it. Did it work? And I don't think we could ever expect some beautiful tune and music coming out of that guitar unless we fix the problem with that guitar. It doesn't matter how much we try unless we fix the guitar the way of our thinking first. We can't just force it to play for us. We can't just hope that it's gonna make a beautiful sound when fundamentally the guitar can't play for me, for us. It just doesn't work. So in that sense, only in that sense, it is painfully true that it doesn't matter how much we try. And we can often find that in our life. When it is about our spiritual life, I think it comes down to what the Lord tells about us. There's so much that the Lord teaches about our nature, our issue, where and how our pain comes about, and how we can allow the Lord to help us, deliver us from that. And there are fundamental life questions. First off, we have to know those things. We have to understand the mechanism of how our life works. Now, I'm sure we all try our best. We strive because we love some of the most important and beautiful teachings of the Lord. So we try to love better, we try to be better, but we know we've failed. Not always, but we have. Then we can think of the story of Esau and Jacob, and we can think of the shift of our mindset and attitude. Just put aside just willing and just trying part. Instead, we can think about how to live and strive wisely based on the answers that the Lord gives us from His teachings. Amen.